everyone, it is Jazz here and welcome to another video. So I got this spur of the moment idea yesterday that I would like to review some of the audiobooks that I have consumed over the many years of having an Audible account. And I just thought what I would do is give you my first inclination of my thought on audiobooks. Now, I think I'm going to do this in maybe like groups of 10 because obviously I have 136 titles in my Audible library. I haven't read all of those, but I have consumed many of them. When I'm talking about an audiobook review, I'm not so much discussing the review of the actual book itself as much as the experience of the actual audio experience of the audiobook. I'll probably briefly give you my thoughts on the book, but mostly we're talking about the actual recording itself, whether that bit is good. So the first of the 10 today we're going to discuss is A Long Way Down. This is by the author Nick Hornby, who writes sort of dark comedy novels. Now, this is narrated by multiple narrators, and it is a really excellent audiobook that I would recommend. Now, I always recommend a multiple narrator book if you can get a hold of it, but I do think that the readers are all excellent. They really bring the characters to life in the story, and I would 100% suggest checking this out if sort of dark comedy is your vibe. Next, we have The Girl on the Train by Paula Hawkins, who authored this book. This is another one with multiple narrators, and that is because there are haven't read this book in a while, I believe 3 perspectives featured in this novel. This is obviously a mystery. I will say though that I think that I may have liked the audiobook more than the book itself, although the book is enjoyable. I just sort of guessed the end, and when it's a mystery, that's, not always the best thing. I will say that all the voices of these actors, because I believe they hired some fairly popular British actresses to read these parts in the story, they do a really well-rounded job, and it makes the book just like extra good. Like I said, good book on its own, but I think I like the audiobook itself more than I actually enjoyed the book. The Silver Chair by C.S. Lewis. This is read by Jeremy Northam. This is one of the books in the Chronicles of Narnia. I can't remember what number of book it is. If I'm honest, I don't think there was anything particularly memorable about this audiobook. I think it was just a solid, just like fairly pleasant to listen to audiobook. Nothing bad about it, nothing particularly special about it. If you need to read The Silver Chair in audiobook, I would say there's definitely nothing wrong with it, but there's nothing like uber special about it. We'll talk about these two together, which are Heartless and Timeless. I believe these are the final 2 books in the Parasol Protectorate series, and they are read by Emily Gray. It's a very quirky series if you're aware of the series itself. It's a steampunk, supernatural thriller sort of book that's also a comedy. Her voice really did suit the vibe of the series, definitely brought out the comedic elements of the series, and really did bring the characters to life. Definitely worth checking out. I'm pretty sure she reads the whole series, so if you want to check out this series by Gail Carricher, forgot to say Gail's name, I would recommend it. Next, we have Dancing with Myself by Billy Idol. This is actually read by Billy Idol. I love a good memoir read by the author of the memoir. Not that it is, not good if the author doesn't read it, but it gives it a little something extra. I just like his voice. I don't know. Maybe it's not for everyone. Maybe Billy Idol's voice isn't for everyone, but I enjoy it. And so if you also like the sound of Billy Idol's voice, then you will probably also enjoy that audiobook. Game of Thrones, obviously by George R.R. Martin. This was read by Roy Dotrice. I don't know how to say that. I hated this audiobook because this reader didn't have a lot of like tonal variety. I don't think it particularly worked for the book because if you have read A Game of Thrones, you know that it switches perspective. Some characters are female in the book, and I have to say that I find that when you have a male reader that's reading an audiobook and they have to do female characters, it's always better if they can do a slightly lighter, not cornball, not like fake girly voice, but a slightly lighter tone for the female characters. And because this reader's voice is like deep and rough and like kind of that kind of voice, that definitely doesn't work for like a character like Sansa. You might want to get a sample before you use your credit or spend your money on A Game of Thrones, because I know that I personally did not like listening to this audiobook, and I kind of wish they would re-record them. The Three Musketeers by Alexandre Dumas. This is read by Bill Howard. This is another one that's just a mediocre listen, I would say. It is not bad, nor is it good, or amazeballs or anything. Like, it doesn't have anything special about it. If you just really want to listen to the classic Three Musketeers instead of reading it with your eyeballs, or sometimes with classic books, I know I like to read and listen at the same time, or if you're just somebody that likes to read and listen at the same time, it will get the job done. And I honestly kind of recommend with Three Musketeers listening to it in audiobook, just because the book plot-wise does tend to meander a bit. Like I said, it's just an okay audiobook. It's fine. Second to last here, we have Frog and Toad audio collection. So if you like children's stories, or you like Frog and Toad, like I do as a grown-up, because it is just one of my favorite reads from childhood, and I sometimes as an adult, as just a comfort thing, love to pick Frog and Toad up again. This is the audiobook for you. It is actually read by the author, Arnold Lobel, and it is highly enjoyable. Obviously, he wrote the characters, so he reads the characters really excellently. But another cool element that is always fun when you can get it in an audiobook is that it does have, I believe, some little sound effects kind of in the background that, of nature, or like, flipping pages and things like that. So if you have a child that, wants to have a audiobook to listen to, or if you're just a grown-up like me that loves Frog and Toad, this is a good one to check out. And the last audiobook we'll discuss today is In Cold Blood by Truman Capote, and this was narrated by Scott Brick. This one, I remember being a pretty excellent audiobook. Really did enjoy this book. I think it is one of my favorite nonfiction reads. I do remember the vocal quality of the reader being really excellent for the genre that it is. I think with nonfiction, you want like a really warm toned reader that is pleasant to listen to, because, nonfiction is a different game than fiction. It's even a different game, I think, than consuming memoirs. So I think that the reader did a really excellent job with this. I remember really enjoying the listen and enjoying the book, like I said, as well. So highly recommend checking that one out. So I hope you all enjoyed my random audiobook review video. I hope it it did maybe help people pick out their audiobooks or get like an insight into what audiobooks they might want to pick. So I guess drop your thoughts in the comments, and I will see you all later. Bye.